hello friends, and welcome to episode 44 of Cocktails for a Crisis. We're a little frazzled today, been kind of rushing around as sometimes we are, and we think it's episode 44, but we didn't have time to look it up, so if we get it wrong, we'll correct it in the comments thing there. So this week I was trying to figure out what to make, and I'm kind of tired of political stuff, and I don't really want to go into that today, but I'll probably go into it in the future. You have that to look forward to. So I was looking at one of these On This Day websites to see what happened on January 16th in the past. And interestingly, this in 1919, the 18th Amendment was passed. All the requisite number of states approved it, so prohibition began. So I think it's interesting that I'm going to make a cocktail on the 101st anniversary of when prohibition passed. And then I started kind of poking around and trying to figure out what to make, and I bought a pineapple a week or so ago, and I thought, I probably ought to try to use that pineapple because I kind of like the flavor of pineapple. And I started poking around with pineapple to see what the internet had to say in cocktails, and I found one called the Mary Pickford, which is named after a famous silent movie star. She was in some talkies too. What were some of the movies she was in, Erica? Do you remember?
She was in the 1920 Pollyanna.
Pollyanna, and I love the Disney version of Pollyanna. If you ever need a boost, you can watch that one. And maybe you can find the silent one, but it can't boost you as much as the Disney one does. Anyway, so it's a famous Prohibition era cocktail that is allegedly invented in Cuba because Pickford apparently traveled to Cuba some, and I believe made some movies down there. Film buffs can correct me on that. But interestingly, gosh, I've got all these layers tonight. Interestingly, Vanity Fair did an article about 2 days ago in honor of the end of the 100th anniversary, the end of the 100th anniversary year of Prohibition, celebrating, what do you think, the Mary Pickford. So they've got a whole article that I'll link up later on Mary Pickford and this Mary Pickford cocktail. And the writer alleges that she was not in Cuba at the time when this was invented. And she talks about a particular bar guide that has it and blah, blah, blah. But it was famous at the Floridita bar in Cuba, where I've been with Walker Rutledge a few years ago. I got to go to Cuba and got to go to that bar and have a drink, but I didn't know about the Mary Pickford at the time. Hemingway also went there. So I'm blathering a lot tonight, sorry. We tried 3 different versions of the Mary Pickford tonight. Just try to settle on a version that we like. So the main ingredients that make a Mary Pickford a Mary Pickford are rum and fresh pineapple juice. It has to be fresh pineapple juice. It can't be in a can. I guess it could be in a pinch, but it's not supposed to be. And let me tell you, friends, it's kind of a pain in the ass, a pain in the rear to make fresh pineapple juice because you have to filter it. We put it in the blender, we pureed the heck out of it, we put it through filters and everything, and it takes some time to do it. You can show the remnants over there if you want. I mean, it's quite a scene over there. We're trying to capture as much of the elixir as we possibly can. And so this is what we came up with. That's about the equivalent of about a half a pineapple's worth of pineapple juice. So this is, pretty special stuff. And then other ingredients that have kind of made their way into this are Maraschino liqueur. That sort of Luxardo Maraschino is the one that's the classic. And but I don't like that, as you know, or you may or may not remember. So we're going to try. I tried 2 cherry liqueurs. I tried the Tattersall's Sour Cherry, which I love, and the Tattersall's is hard to come by. But it's a more complex one, and that's probably the one we'll make tonight. But then there's also Dr. McGillicuddy's Cherry Liqueur, which is a little bit more mainstream. You should be able to find that, and it's a little bit more straight-ahead kind of cherry flavor kind of thing. But if you like, like my friends the Kesslers, they like the Luxardo. You can use that. So enough yammering. I'm going to go ahead and start. So because you got juice in this one, you're going to use your cocktail shaker. I got a little extra water in there, so I'm going to get that out of there. You got your cocktail shaker, and you're going to put in, let's see, I decided on 1.5 ounces of rum. and then anywhere from 3/4 to an ounce of pineapple juice. And in a traditional one, it matches. It's 1.5 of each, but that's just too sweet for me. So I'll probably put in there right in between 3/4 of an ounce and an ounce of pineapple. There we go. And then 3/8 of an ounce of cherry. And like I said, I like this Tattersalls. It's a little bit more complex. So 3/8 of an ounce of that. There we go. And then the other thing that a lot of the cocktail guides talk about is these Luxardo Maraschino cherries. Now these are expensive. These are about $19 a jar or whatever. But the juice in this stuff is really good. And so the Vanity Fair writer talks about how, you know, just a little splash of this juice makes it really special. So I'm going to put a little splash of this juice. There we go. I'm going to take it off the side there. Sorry, it wasn't very hygienic. All right, and then some ice. I've got cheap ice here, so I spent so much on cherries today. I thought I better use the cheap ice. Shake it for about 10 seconds. Now, typically, when you garnish this thing, see, it's the thing about the Tattersalls is it's not like a really bright red kind of thing. It's kind of a muddy red. It really tastes better, I think. If you use this, it'll be prettier. And it'll be more mainstream tasting. And some, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. All right, and then typically you would just garnish it with a cherry, if anything. But I thought, in my version of it, I'm going to garnish it with a little piece of pineapple and one of these cherries. So
since you paid $19 for them.
Since I paid $19, I want to do it. You know, that boosts the price of the drink. So I got a little toothpick here. And then I'll get one of these cherries on there if I can spear it. Good. And then we'll pop that in there like so. Here you go. And we've got a real pretty drink there. You can kind of see that little fruit on the side there. You'd probably be able to see it better with the McGillicuddy's because it's clear. So what a week, friends. Another nutty, crazy week. Oh my God. The virus is out of control. It sounds like we got some good plans to try to get that under control coming on Tuesday or Wednesday, I guess. It's Martin Luther King's birthday on Monday. It's always a special day for us. We tend to go to the march and march through that with our family. And we got to see what's going on this time. We'll participate somehow. But I'm thinking of all of you. I think of you often. You know, when you put the comments and stuff in there, I just think of all the great friends I have in different parts of the world. And that makes me feel really good. And hopefully this cocktail is going to make you feel really good. Cheers, friends. Love you. That's good.